Okay guys, so now that we've gone through the initial setup, I'm going to try to set this thing up with a DAC curve. Okay, as you remember, this distance amplitude curve we're talking about, right? So as you see here, with each rebound or each multiple, the signals drop off, right? As the distance doubles or increases, my amplitude continues to drop off as well. So instead of simply using the block itself to create a distance amplitude curve, I'm going to use the side drill holes. See how this works out. I have not tried this yet, so I just want to give you a chance to see what I'm talking about. So as I told you, with the ASME block, you've got these holes: 1/4 T, 3/4 T. On the other side's a 1/2 T hole. So I'm going to attempt to at least get a 2-point DAC using this hole and this hole. Let's see. Yeah, okay, I might even try, I may just get 3. Use this one on the opposite side here and go from there. So let's see what happens. Okay. Alright, so first thing I probably want to do is I want to change the range. I want to open this up a little bit, or zoom in a little bit, I'm sorry. I don't need all those signals back here. So let's call this, we're going to go maybe 3 inches, we'll call it a range of 5. Okay. That way we can see a little bit more about what's going on in here. So there's my 3/4. Like I told you before, this first hole is a 1/4 T, which 1/4 of 0.752 is roughly 150 thousandths or so. So I want to make sure my gate start is beyond that. Okay, I want to make sure my gate start is just around 100 thousandths or so. Okay. Now, as you see here, this signal right in here, it's not very good with that pen. Right off that initial pulse, you're seeing a signal jump up. Okay, this right here is my 3/4 inch. Shows up just fine here. But if you keep an eye on this signal over here, you'll see it drop off. Yep, see, this signal is a 3/4 T, which is near the back of my back wall, right? We know that this is 7.5 thick, so the hole that we're looking at here has to be just short of that back wall. Okay, remember, as we said, our reference standard is known values, and with that information, we know where to look. So like I said, that's the hole we're talking about here. If I go over to the 1/2 T, where's it going to show up? 1/2 T is going to show up somewhere between my 3/4 and my initial pulse, which would be right in here. Okay, so the challenge is we can't see this 1/4 T hole. It's a little bit tough. It's kind of swallowed up inside the initial pulse. So we're going to go ahead and just make a 2-point DAC. We'll use this right here, which is my 1/2 T hole, my 3/4 T hole. Okay, but I can't use those signals just yet because it's not quite tall enough. I want to set one of these to 80%. So I'm going to set the thinnest one, in this case the 1/2 T hole, to 80%. If you recall, let's see, let's bring the gain, bring that bad boy up a little bit. Now the reason I'm not getting that measurement over here is because I'm still gating. My gate is so wide that I'm catching both this signal, which is a higher amplitude. So I'm going to change my gate width just to capture this one. Narrow that up. So I don't want my gate width any wider, right? I don't need to catch the right side of this signal. So now I got 0.327. If I increase my gain, get that to about 80%. 80%, 327. Okay, so that'll be my first point of my DAC. But like I said, so now I've got my percentage what I need. Now I'm going to have to work through this to find the DAC. So bear with me for a minute. Here we are, DAC. So I'm gonna hit setup. So I'm gonna turn this on. I'll call it standard. Okay. So I'm gonna add this point. Okay. Come over to this one. At that point. And what do I do? Guess there's really other points I can add, right? That's it. We're done. We've got our DAC created. So that's a very small DAC, but we've only done the 1/2 and 3/4 T hole, right? So we've only got these 2 points that we can reference. So if we open up our range a little bit, we'll be able to see how that looks a little bit bigger, right? So if we're looking only 3/4 of an inch, we could open this up and just see those 2 points. Now we have to disregard this. This is our initial pulse, but because we're really zoomed in here, meaning we got 1.3 inches, and our points are so small, right? You gotta remember that my back wall is huge, okay? And these holes are rather small, and we're only hitting the end of these, right? So we're only hitting this much of it. The sound's only hitting a small portion of it, as opposed to this back wall where all the sound is being absorbed back. So that's it, folks. We'll see how this looks.